Hello everyone and welcome to MX Gaming News, where I'm going to be doing a little bit of a new segment here where I'm going to be bringing you Star Trek Online news, anything about Delta Rising. I think I'm going to try and do some news on it, and we'll see how it goes, see how many views and how many of you guys like it. But anyways, Star Trek Online has announced a new expansion called Delta Rising, where you are going to be exploring the Delta Quadrant. So I'm gonna just go through and show you, or just read off what they have here. I might make a few speculations as to what they're saying, what they're going to be doing. And just for the most part, I'm just gonna be letting you know. I'm gonna try and keep up to date on the new expansion news and let you guys know about it. So without further ado, I'm gonna just read off what they got here, and I may just kind of stop every moment and just discuss it a little bit. But anyways, here we go. The STO team is pleased to announce the second full expansion to the game, Star Trek Online Delta Rising. In Delta Rising, Enterprise and captains are sent to explore the Delta Quadrant, joining forces with and opposing the efforts of well-known species seen on Star Trek Voyager, such as the Talaxians, the Ocampa, the Kazon, as well as lesser-known species. A lot has changed in these sectors in 30 years since Captain Janeway captained the Voyager through the region of space. With a portal recently discovered within the Dyson Sphere providing a quick path to the quadrant, many vessels are being sent to explore the region. Alright. The expansion features a level cap increase to 60. Awesome! I know a lot of people have been asking for that. And this is the first level cap increase in over 4 years. So I didn't know that that there was a level cap previously. So I guess it was like level 1 to 40, and then they went from 40 to 50 within, I guess, the first year it was Star Trek Online came out. I'm not entirely sure. I was not around when, well, I was around when beta was there, but I never played Star Trek Online. I didn't have time. I was always working midnights or something crazy like that, so I didn't get a chance to actually game and do a lot of stuff. So this is good news for those that are wanting a level increase, because I know a lot of we want a level increase, but you know, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort on the programming and developers just to get this to where it is. So and you know what, it's great that they're increasing it to level 60. I'm not sure if they can increase it further past to, you know, level 80 or so, which would be kind of interesting to see if they do go that high up. You know, even at that point, they may just be like, no, we're just leaving at 60 and that's it. So, but anyways, as captains progress past level 50, they are allowed to train in specializations, picking up additional skills to broaden their capabilities. The areas of specialization and how captains progress in them will be revealed in future postings as we work our way towards the expansion launch in October of this year. So they got a couple of months, yeah, actually about two and a half months or so, and I think the official release date is October 15th. I'm not 100% sure on that. Do not quote me on that. That's the rumor that I've heard, is October 15th. So the year 2410 also brings with it new technology. The Federation, the Klingon Empire, and the Romulan Republic have been learning from the many foes they have faced, and they have developed new series of starships, more powerful than ever before. These ships have new capabilities not seen before, including innovations in bridge officer seating. Briefing on these new vessels will be released in the coming weeks. Watch our exclusive announcement trailer from Star Trek Las Vegas here for the all new from all the news from our dev panel. Man, I can't speak today. We look forward to sharing the next chapter in the continuing story of Star Trek Universe, so watch for regular news and details while the captain's preparing for Delta Rising. So, this is I think I'm very excited for this. Just reading this, it looks like we're getting brand new starships. For me, I love starships. That's why I do what I do. It's because I love the starships. Would I be able to get them all? Probably not right away. That's going to be something down the line. But most definitely, that's something I'm going to be looking into. Bridge officer seatings. Now, if I remember correctly, I heard them saying something about new bridge officers, like a new type of bridge officer. I might have to look through some forums and see what was said. So maybe it was worded wrong or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I am excited. You know, an increase in level cap. You know, that's kind of gonna really suck a little bit, because then you have to be like, oh, now I gotta level, you know, again and again and again, kind of deal. So for some people that, you know, are new to the game, you know, this is, you know, yeah, you're gonna have to take that extra step, whereas a lot of people are already at level 50. But you know what? In the long run, you're probably gonna enjoy it a lot more than us that are already at level 50. So don't be like, oh, they're changing it and I just started playing. No, you know, it's fine. Don't worry about that. Let's see here. Level caps, they're talking about new ships, so maybe tier 6, who knows. That would be awesome. So that's the first part of it. There's another part here. Let's see here. Okay, so excitement around Delta Rising. So this is the next information on the new expansion. So let me start reading here. Oops. See if I can kind of... There we go. It has been fantastic to see the community's interest in our announcement of Delta Rising. This expansion includes our first level cap increase in 4 years, as the previous mention. And the players have many questions about how these changes will affect them, which is understandable, because, you know, anytime there's a level increase in an MMO, you know, people are like, okay, how's it going to change everything? I know WoW did it. I'm not sure about any other games, but I don't play WoW, and I heard people complaining about that. So, anyways, as with any level cap increase in an MMORPG, there are going to be increases and shifts in power levels in the game. One of the most notable changes in this expansion is the introduction of a new tier of starships. So we are getting tier 6. Yay! Commonly known as tier 6 because our previous top end starships were tier 5. The big question everyone is asking, what does this mean to my existing tier 5 ships? Which is a very valid question, because people want to know how, because when you look at it, a tier 4 ship is nowhere capable of outgunning a tier 5 ship. It just doesn't happen. Maybe if it's an escort going against a science, you know, a tier 5 science and a tier 4 tactical, you know, maybe depends, right? But usually when you're at a tier 5 ship, you have better gear and you have the better weapons and stuff like that. So you would be just basically swatting a fly in that case. So this is a very valid question. Are tier 5 ships going to be competitive with tier 6? So let's continue reading and see what they say. Developing starships takes a lot of dev effort, so Delta Rising is going to include between 7 and 10 new tier 6 ships at launch, spanning all 3 factions. So that's really good. They're really thinking ahead. That's good. This is nowhere near enough breadth in the starship to satisfy the player demand, and that's always true. We're always demanding new starships, and we know our players love these ships that they are already flying. With this in mind, we are dedicated to making sure that players can continue flying the ships they love and still have those ships to be competitive with the new level 60 endgame. We do not want players to feel that their investment in the current ships is devalued in the expansion, and this is a challenging thing to do for a game with 4 years of history since the last level cap increase. So so there's 2 things here. Tier 6s could be just a little bit better than tier 5, just a little bit, like a smidge. From what we read in the last post, they're getting new capabilities. The ships are going to get the capabilities, and I'm going to assume that they're only for tier 6s. So maybe that's the edge. They're going to be like almost the same as a tier 5, but with this specialization capabilities, and that's what's going to make them the difference between a tier 5 and tier 6, which doesn't really work. The other one is Zen Store ships are probably some of them, not all of them. Some of them are going to go from tier 5 to tier 6, just so that there's that level sort of playing field. Most definitely, there's going to be a lot of tier 6 Zen Store ships that are going to be coming out as a result. So that's something to that's something to think about. So they're at least they're taking that concern and saying, hey, my tier 5 ship, I love my tier 5 ship. What happens when I go to if I don't like the tier 6 and I want to stay with my tier 5? Is it going to be competitive? Is it still going to be usable in PvE, PvP? Right? So this is something good that they're looking at and that they're addressing. So that's good. So let's see here. While we have a detailed plan, we still have plenty of testing to do, which is true. There's a lot that can change as we implement and test our plan. We expect to be ready to share full details on the starships within the coming 3 weeks. So within the next 3 weeks, they're going to have all this information hopefully done. They're going to have all their testing done. They're going to have all the details done. And then they're going to share it with us within, I guess, 3 weeks. So that's something I'm going to be trying to make a video on and keep you guys up to date. Players will also be able to experience the new changes on Tribble soon, and will be able to provide feedback to help us tune and adjust the systems for many weeks prior to the actual release. Okay, so for me, I don't do Tribble because I don't like spoiling things for people. Just because I've seen movies, or I want to see a movie, and I'm like, don't tell me anything, and then they go and they blab the whole entire thing, and I'm just like, why did you tell me that? I want the excitement, and if you want to be spoiled, I know there's other people that will do Tribble and give you a detailed thing on that. I want to give you a full detail on the finished product. Quote unquote finished product, I'm going to say, because they're always subject to change. So I want to do that and give you guys my input, my feedback, and my thoughts on the finished product of Delta Rising and these new starships and everything else. So I won't be doing Tribble. I won't be doing any videos on spoilers or anything like that. I don't like spoilers. If people put up spoilers, and if I haven't seen the movie or part of the game, I usually don't watch it because I want to be surprised as to it. Now with the ESD revamp, I did watch a Tribble spoiler on that one, and I'm kind of regretting that. So when I do my videos, a lot of other people are going to be like, hey, I have this spoiler. For me, I won't do that. I'm going to just read the news here that they got, and that's about it. So continuing on the road to the release of Delta Rising in October, we will be sharing almost everything about the expansion, both in official dev blogs and on our public test shard Tribble. The only information we plan to hold back is the story, which we will do to avoid spoiling the narrative for those who prefer to wait for the release and experience it themselves. We have a lot of amazing things on the horizon, so we're really excited to share them with you as they're ready. So I'm glad that they're really keeping the story hush hush. I really like that, and I hope no one spoils it, because this is what a lot of players are wanting. They are wanting story content. Now I know a lot of people are like, with all these like seasons, they give small feature episodes, and people are like, I want more. I want more. I want more. Every season, I want more story content. And and you know what? I agree. I want more story content because the Dyson the Dyson storyline, I think it's a fabulous one. I think it's a little much adding in the Voth and the Udine and whatever else they got going on here. I think it's just too much. I think they just need to focus on one enemy. So whether that's just the Voth or that's the Undine, I think that's what they need to do. They don't need to be bringing in several other things. If you want to bring in the Klingons, the Federation, the Romulans all into one, hey, that's perfect, because then that's bringing the Delta Quadrant together. I think they need to include Cardassians in this. Most definitely after the Dominion War, the Cardassians got left in the dust kind of deal after the Jem'Hadar basically pillaged them. So I think they need to include even the Cardassians in this. Have the Alpha Quadrant, in a strong position to fight the Undine, to fight the Voth, to fight the Borg, because this is something that that they're going to need. Story-wise content, I enjoy the feature episodes. I enjoy them. There's now the one thing I kind of about it is there's a lot of kind of click, and and when the one thing I don't like is I don't like puzzles. I absolutely dislike puzzles in games. And there's one in the Cardassian one where you're on DS9 after the Jem'Hadar take it, and you have to do the Icelandic ship. I hate that one. That one just drives me nuts. Anyways, there needs to be some sort of balance. A Step Between the Stars, I did that one. That one's okay. It's got a bit of a nice little balance to it. Not much. I really do think that they should work on ground combat in this new expansion, or even in Season 10. I would love to see them fix that. Anyways, enough of me rambling on. The Delta Quadrant is a thrilling and dangerous place, and we look forward to opening it up for all you Federation, Klingon, and Romulan captains. It is definitely some of the best work in Star Trek Online team has ever produced, and you're going to love it. Well, you know what, Stephen DeAngelo, I really do hope we do love it, because, like I said, I'm excited for this expansion. I've heard people say it's not real expansion because they're not releasing a new faction. Well, you know what, a faction is great, but that's not the point of an expansion. The point of expansion is expanding the universe in which this game is. So they're expanding the Star Trek Online universe. So they're adding the Delta Quadrant. They've already given you a bit, with the Dyson spheres, and they've been leading up to this. So now they're coming out with this expansion. You're going to be able to explore the Delta Quadrant. I'm hoping that the map is as large as the current Alpha Quadrant map with Sirius sector and the Picana sector and all that fun stuff. I hope it's as big as that. But I think in the previous one, it's a small area, which that I'm not really very happy about. But there's not much I can do about that. I do hope that this is the the expansion that they get the groundwork done, and then Season 10 they expand upon that even more and add more to it. That's something that I'm hoping for. I'm pretty sure that anyone that wants to explore the universe around us a little more in the game, they get to experience that. There's a lot of things that I'm excited about this, and I do hope that they come through with all this. I was when Legacy of Romulus came out, I was excited for that, even though I didn't really I started my Romulan character and kind of put her on the back burner. I was still excited because there was a lot of feature episodes. I wasn't really, well, I wouldn't say feature episode, but there was story content. And you know what, the one thing I kind of liked about the story was that it was you went into what is it, Paradise Lost or whatever town that is. You go in there, it's kind of like it's a safe haven kind of deal. There's no fighting kind of deal. I think there was one mission where you had to fight in there. I can't remember. Anyways, but you were in the same instant as a lot of other people. So if you went out of the town to go do a mission, other people could be helping you with that mission, and it was nice. It was a nice open world, and I liked that. That's why I liked about it. It wasn't just kind of like a single player going into one little instant and doing that story mission. It was there's other people there that can help, and they're doing their own thing, but they could help you in completing your quest faster, or your story faster, which I kind of did like about. I know they've come up with the battle zones. I've even done the Udine space battle zone. I love it. That's the best way for me to get my marks for the Undine reputation, because I'm really lacking in a lot of the reputation, so I gotta do that. Anyways, I digress. So a lot of good things that I see here. A lot of good things that a lot of people I know are going to be happy about, because they've been complaining about a lot of this stuff. So now they're coming out with it. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you coming out with it now? Well, you know what? They probably had this in the works for quite some time. I know last year they had Legacy of Romulus come out. I guarantee you, as soon as that came out, they had Delta Rising in the works. That's probably why they're able to release it in October. So, it's going to take a year or two to come up with these expansions and put them out. Make sure they probably have a whole team just dedicated for Delta Rising, and then they have other people that just do the the ongoing stuff. So it's just it takes a lot of programming and developing time to get this stuff done. So always be patient with developers. You can't always just go down their throats and say, why is this not done yet? This should be done like as soon as possible. It takes time. Even I complain about stuff, and then in the back of my mind I have to remember, okay, it takes time. Everything takes time. So it's and it's not just a flip of a switch. It is a lot of hard work, and I'm glad that they're doing it. Anyways, I'm gonna go over to Star Trek Wiki here. Can I move that? No, I can't. Okay. I'm gonna pause this, and then I'm gonna adjust my screen here. Okay, we're back here with Star Trek Wiki. All right, so this is Star Trek Wiki. I use this a lot, especially when I do my reviews for starships, because in game there is a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's some stuff, there's some information that they don't post in the stats, mainly the stats of the ship. So this is something that I use to give you those little bits of information. So this is and sometimes when I say, hey, there's conflicting on this, and so that's where I get my information from, is STO Wiki. It's a great site if you want to learn anything about Star Trek Online, and this is one of them, is the Delta Rising thing. So I'm going to try and do this slowly so I don't go over anything that I don't want you to see at this point. So, Delta Quadrant. Story of Delta Rising will take place in the Delta Quadrant, as always, or as we already know. Exploring the effects of the journey of USS Enterprise through the region more than 30 years earlier. The expansion will only explore a small part of the quadrant. That's where I read it, was only a small part right here, namely in the region of Voyager, explored after it crossed the Necrotic Expanse. Featured races include Talaxians, Ocampa, Kazon, Bentham, Hierarchy, Malon, Harazi, Kabali, and automated personnel units, which is kind of cool, because the automated personnel units are the mechanical guys that were created by their creators. They died because of the war, and then the two sides, the gold and the blue, were fighting, still duking it out after like hundreds of years of war, and B'Elanna had to help create a new new subsect of those automated personnel units. Notably, the homeworld of one of these species will be seen, while other featured worlds harbors a dark secret. So there's a little bit of tidbit there for those people that are into the story. There's just a little bit of tidbit right there. This probably gives you a little more than what they want, but this is cryptic in it, you know, like, not saying cryptic company, just this gives you a little bit of tidbit, not enough so that you know the whole entire story, but this is still good. I don't mind saying things like this because it doesn't give too much, it doesn't say too much. So there's that. So voice talents. All right, I'm gonna just kind of do those two there. So voice talents. Tim Russ will be reprising his role as Admiral Tuvok. Awesome. And while Garrett Wang was announced as Harry Kim, commanding officer of the USS Rhode Island, other Voyager crew cast members are also scheduled to appear. So that's pretty cool. So they're getting Garrett Wang as well to reprise his role as Harry Kim in Star Trek Online. I'm going to say reprise because he's already played Harry Kim in Star Trek Voyager. So he's just reprising that role, but in Star Trek Online. So that's going to be cool. He's going in the USS Rhode Island, which is the Nova class, which was the second Federation ship in the Delta Quadrant. Well, in the Voyager series, I'm going to just say the second ship that you see in the Delta Quadrant. So that's going to be cool. So I wonder what kind of... I don't think he's going to be playing a very big part, but he's going to play somewhat of a part because he's still captain of the Rhode Island. So, anyways, Intrepid class revamp. So, USS Voyager and other Intrepid class starships will get an extensive visual overhaul. In addition, a complete interior base on Voyager will be released for both use in missions and as ship interiors for players. So, I think what they're going to do is they're going to give us a free bridge pack with if you have an Intrepid class starship, which is kind of cool. Or they might just give that to everyone, which would be really, really cool. You know, here's a little freebie. You know, doesn't have to be much. You know, and so we're gonna take a look at this one. Hopefully you can get. Yeah, so there's the bridge right there of the Voyager, which really looks. You know, I mean, the bridge is small and compact, and it looks kind of cool. So you know, that's really neat that they've. Things are dropping. Sorry. So that's cool. So they're giving you that little tidbit. Come on, back. There we go. All right. So well, there's a picture of the Kazons. So let's take a look at that. So there's the Kazons. There's their ships. Their ships haven't changed much. They look like big ass battle cruisers. And then there's yeah. I'm not going to get into that one. Alright, so level 60 cap. The level cap will increase from level 50 to 60, the first such increase in over 4 years. The increase includes new Mark 13 and 14 gear. Awesome. So we are getting new space gear and ground combat gear, which is awesome. New type of bridge officer. This is where I read it. This is where I got the new bridge officer. So they're giving you a new type of bridge officer. Now I don't know what that's going to be. I'm trying to go through my my Star Trek lore here and trying to figure out. So you have your command, you have your tactical, you have engineering, you have science. What else do they have? Do they have like maybe a command? Like an actual officer, like maybe a first officer. That's what I'm thinking. Now you have a first officer instead of one of your little people following you around. They're the first officer. So, anyways, new skill specialization and tier 6 ships with unique abilities. Though tier 5 ships will remain competitive at end game. So that's good. So they're really doing that, so that's good. Let's see here. Okay, so Officially announced at the dev panel of the official Star Trek convention in Las Vegas since on August 2nd, 2014. Include information about the updated USS Voyager ship model and interior, and level cap increase and Tier 6 ships, the inspection location, and involved races, as well as involvement of Garrett Wang. In addition, 40 dev blogs are scheduled to be released on the game's official website. So I'm going to probably have maybe 40 episodes on dev blogs, maybe. I don't know. I'll look at the dev blogs and see. I don't really want to do dev blogs. I'd rather just do the news. So maybe I will think about that. That's something I'm gonna have to say. Tribble testing. Again, I'm not gonna do Tribble. Not gonna look at Tribble. I'm not even gonna log into Tribble. I'm just gonna play the game. I'm gonna keep up to date on the news. That's what I'm gonna do. So here's some other screenshots here. So here's Voyager. So I don't know what kind of visual revamp they're gonna do. Maybe change the visual, not change the visual, but more in-depth visual than what you currently get in game. That's the only thing I can think of. So let's go back. There we go. And oh hey, we got Compass. So well, there's Cass. She looks fairly, this NPC or whatever looks fairly much similar to Cass from the TV show. So they've done a really good job on that. Even when you look at a Tuvok's character in game, it looks exactly like Tim Russ. So that's pretty cool. All right, and let's see here. And here you have the Talaxians. So here they kind of look like Neelix, and you get some looks like Talaxian kids. So, or maybe just women. They're just shorter than men. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that looks like Talaxians, and that looks pretty cool. So I don't know if maybe we're gonna get something like that, where you can change your characters to look like Okampas and Talaxians. Maybe they might add that into the character creator or whatever you want to call it. So notes. During the announcement of Delta Rising, developer Al Riviera, or Captain Gecko I believe it is, officially promoted Garrett Wang to Lieutenant Junior grade to take on the fact that Harry Kim never received a promotion from Ensign during Voyager's journey through the Delta Quadrant. Oh, that is so true. That guy just... he never got promoted, and I thought that was always strange because Tom Paris got promoted. I don't know how many times. He got promoted twice. Yeah, he did lose his rank, and then he was brought back up. But they promoted him, but not Harry. That I always thought that was weird when I was watching it. I was like, why is he still an ensign? And then when I watched it again, years later, completely forgetting about Voyager, and then watching it again, I'm just like, didn't he get promoted to like lieutenant at least by the end of it? No, he never did, which is kind of sad for him. But now, I guess in Star Trek Online, I think he is promoted to captain because he's captaining the Rhode Island. So that's it for Delta Rising news. So that's kind of cool. I'm very excited for this expansion. I do have a little bit of funny haha on this, and I'm gonna stop the video. I'm going to share that with you in just a few minutes when I adjust my screen here for the video. So just give me a few minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back. So this is just a funny haha. It doesn't degrade STO or its developing team in any way. It's just for fun. So if you take offense, I apologize. But you know what? This is for fun. This is not to disrespect anyone in any fashion. So just sit back and enjoy. So the STO team is pleased to announce the second full expansion to the game, Star Trek Online Delta Rising. Okay. In Delta Rising, Enterprise and captains are sent to explore the Delta Quadrant, leaving the Alpha Quadrant open to invasion by any pissed-off race, joining forces with and opposing the efforts of well-known species seen on Star Trek Voyager, such as the Talaxians, the Okampas, Paul McCartney, the Kazon, as well as lesser-known species that we still aren't going to bother with. A lot has changed in these sectors in 30 years since Catherine Janeway and the crew of the starship Voyager pissed off as many species as they could. With the portal recently discovered within the Dyson Sphere providing a quick path to the quadrant, many vessels are being sent to the region to explore, irritate, and set up onion ring and fried donut concession stands. The expansion features a level cap increase to 60, the first level cap in over 4 years. As captains progress past level 50, they are allowed to train in specializations such as eBay Star Seller, Needlepoint Master, and Golf Pro, picking up additional skills to broaden their capabilities. The areas of specialization and how captains progress within them will be revealed in the future postings as we will work our way towards the expansion launch in October of this year. In 2410 also brings with it new technology. The Federation, the Klingon Empire, and the Romulan Republic have been learning from many foes they have faced, and the development of a new series of starships, more powerful than ever before, complete with Moonroof and OnStar. These ships have new capabilities not seen before, including innovations to bridge officer seating, such as lumbar support and adjustable seat height. Leather rally trim available in the Vesta class only. Here's a sneak peek. The Talaxians. I gotta move. I don't want to give too away. No Delta Quadrant stop would be complete without the amusing antics of Neelix, everybody's favorite Federation ambassador / cook / janitor. You will partake in a dramatic story arc where Neelix requests help in rescuing his long-lost brother, Dog the Bounty Hunter. From the aggressive band of pirates, Dog is out of cigarettes and out of options. How far will you go to help a friend, bro? Oh, God. And here's the best part. It's a picture of Dog and Neelix together, both wearing the same shades. And you cannot believe how much they look alike. It is so scary. I mean, Neelix has less hair and more of a forehead ridge and stuff like that, but if you look at them, it's hilarious. They look almost alike. It's scary. The guy who does this, I swear he has like nothing to do on it. Like he's got like so much free time on his hands. He can do this, or he just knows what he's gonna do and what he's looking for right off the bat. Oh my goodness gracious, it's hilarious. Okay. The Kazon. Captain Janeway may have been able to spit on the Kazon as she walked by when she was in the Delta Quadrant, but you better be careful now. They've upgraded. Shortly after Seska's lame, plotless, and irritating death, the Kazon regrouped and united under one sect under the leadership of none other than David Lee Roth. Now armed with big cannons and big hair, they will prove to be a force to be reckoned with. Do you dare face Diamond Delta Dave? Bozzy boop. So there's a picture of David Lee Roth. Oh dear. The Okampa. Well, still nothing new here. They have such a short lifespan. They will all die from natural causes before any mission is completed. Just forget about it. And as you can see, mass grave or graveyard. Oh dear. The Malon. Unfortunately, not everything goes as planned. Just when you thought the Malon learned their lesson, a small group teams up with a bunch of Ferengi and attempt to make big latinum dumping vast quantities of toxic Yoo-hoo chocolate drink in open space for profit. Just when you thought those Undine puddles were irritating, just wait until you fly into a puddle of this. Oh dear, that would make quite a mess. Oh, and the Vidians. Yep. The Vidians' ugly, rotting asses are about to invade Starfleet Academy. In this all-new ground combat mission, you will battle wave after wave of Vidians, which kind of look like zombies, with chainsaws, and cut them up. Because they kind of look like zombies, but they're really Vidians. Infected with a phage from episode, whatever. There's going to be dilithium reward and some other shit. So it says, get ready to enter the Delta Quadrant and set a course for fun. See you out there. So that's that's the little funny haha I got. This was not written by me. This was written by a fellow fleet member. And like I said, he's absolutely hilarious. He's got, like, anytime he posts something like this, usually I'm on the ground laughing so hard, and just I always come to my come onto these forums just to see what he says about something, because usually it's pretty good. Anyways, that's it for me in this little new segment. I'm gonna try and follow with Star Trek Online Delta Rising. I'm gonna try and keep up with the news. Maybe the dev vlogs. I don't know. We'll see how they are. And anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you out there.